Hello everybody, welcome back to Cats & Co, or welcome if you're new. My name is Sarah and this is my small business Cats & Co. So today I will be showing you a video of me doing a craft show, some setting up, some taking down. My mom is helping me in this video since she at this point only had 3 shows left until I leave for college. And she was helping me and kind of getting a better feel for the things that I do at a craft show versus the things that she does at a craft show. Because I started when I was 16, my mom has always kind of came to most of my shows. She only around last year in I think November started letting me go to shows on my own. Actually no, it was September when she started letting me go to shows on my own. So we're almost at that year mark where I've been going to shows by myself. But more recently, my mom has been coming with me more to kind of get that extra feel for having the full inventory with you at a craft show versus her definitely limited inventory when she does go to craft shows alone while I'm also at another event. So yeah, let's get into the video. Okay. So what I am doing here first is I thought about setting up the tent and then I decided not to because I was going to try to wait for my mom who was parking the car at this point in time because she only had 3 more shows before I leave to college. And she had never really put up this white tent by herself. We had another tent that we were borrowing from my uncle that was a bit easier to put up that she was using when she would go to craft shows on her own. When I would be at a different event with the big white tent. So what I did instead was I set up tables. So I set up my 2 white tables and I set up the table that we just put our stuff on. And then I kind of gave up on my mom and I tried to put the tent up by myself. And as you can see, I was struggling because it is not easy to put this tent up by yourself. It is really a 2-person job. So someone luckily actually came and helped me, because you really just honestly needs like someone giving resistance to the other side to put it up. Oh, and here's my mom coming and being like, oh, why didn't you wait for me? And I was like, well, you were literally like 3 minutes too late. But it was fine because I actually had her put it up in the next craft show that we did. So then we just basically put it up to the lowest setting, having it fully up to set up because we normally have a sign. But I forgot the sign because it wasn't where it normally was, and this was actually our first craft show in almost 2 months. I think it was like a month and a half. So we were a tad out of practice for setting up and packing the car and all that stuff. So we did forget some items, mainly my sign that says Cats & Co on it. So then the next thing we did was kind of sort of level out the tables. Obviously they're not going to be perfectly level, but we try to get them as level as possible because if there is a significant, how do I even describe, what's the word I'm looking for? When it's significantly unlevel, my candles tend to slide off of each other because I have my mediums set up on top of my larges. To kind of give them some height and to also showcase all my different sizes of my candles. So that was always a big problem. So we have this bag full of just tiny little wood blocks that we use to kind of level out the table because normally that's really all it needs is like a 1/2 inch or an inch. And I am fairly positive that these are 1/2 inch wood blocks. So that was, of course, very helpful to have in this situation because it was kind of sloped inward as we were kind of on the end of a path at this particular event. So here you can see me setting up my larges and my medium candles. You can kind of see me just kind of getting everything out on the table and trying to like do this as efficiently as possible. Well, my mom sets out and organizes all of my paintings. I normally, I don't know where I was going with that sentence, so we're just going to move on because I don't feel like refilming this again. So normally I do the candles and my mom does the artwork because my mom is just honestly better at doing the artwork and setting it out in a nice, pretty display than I am. And also, when we were first starting, I really wanted to be in charge of where my candles were and how it looked design-wise, so that's kind of how we ended up doing it the first couple times, and we never changed in the 2.5 years we've been doing this. If we are together, this is how we do things. If I am alone, I set up my candles first, and then I go set up my artwork. So normally with me and my mom, it takes us about 45 minutes to fully set up our display, with about 15 minutes of just doing like minor things that are like, oh, we're putting out the price tags on the paintings, we're, fixing things, we're making things look perfect. So we always try to give ourselves an hour, but we can do it in 45 minutes if we really need to, and then just kind of set up some minor things in the beginning of the show when no one's really there yet. So what I am doing here is I am just putting out the smalls while my mom does the wax melts, because that's the one thing that she did need more practice on, to kind of know how I set it up with the bigger amount of candles, because when my mom does a craft show, she has a limited inventory. So trying to get her prepped for having the full inventory, is kind of the goal of this, event. So I also had rose petals on 20% off. So that's kind of what I'm setting up now with the reed diffusers. If you would like to check out rose petals, you should check out my website, catsandcoshop.com. I think it is still 20% off on the website. The discount might have gone up in the time that since I'm filming this and posting it. But anyway, I'm going to send you back to Past Sarah, because Past Sarah has some updates for you. Okay, so this is what my booth looks like. This is my artwork table. You can see my flower art kind of mixed in. If you've watched some other videos, you can see the making of these three, and that one right there. In I think like 2 videos ago, I don't know, I'll probably link it here to see the making of those. And also I have another video on my channel where I made this piece, so I'll probably also link that here or somewhere, so you can watch me and my process for making my flower art. So here is my reed diffusers. I'm missing quite a few scents because I have not had a chance to make them, and I was really low, so I only have saffron cedarwood, black cherry merlot, and vanilla cupcake. My other 3 scents for this are sweet peaches, why can't I remember, lemongrass lime, and something else. And lavender. My mom's handing me a sign to put here. Here we go. So here's my sign for it. So that's how much they are here. And I always have a buy one get one 20% off deal in person. So I have rose petals here, which is 20% off. And you can also see me making rose petals somewhere else on my channel. It'll probably be linked. And then these are my seasonal sections. So I have my summer scents and my spring scents, and there's my price list. And then my wax melts are right here, and free smells, fun. And then here are the rest of my all-season scents. And so here's my setup. Mama, say hi. Normally I have a sign here, but we forgot it, so there's no sign. Normally I have a giant sign that says Cats & Co. right there. Maybe I'll insert a picture of it here. So yeah, this is the setup. So this is what my setup looks like. So yeah. Okay, so I'm all set up now. Well, for the most part set up. This is my tent. We're at the end of a row, and I'm sorry if you can hear the band playing in the background. There's a band playing. So the only thing I have left to do is quick take out my braids, which I've left in because it's hot while setting up. So fun fact, wear braids because then you end up with nice curls in the morning, and also my braids just look really trashy, so they need to go. So yeah, I opened up all the lids to my candles, and it is officially 9 o'clock, which is the open of the show. It took us about a half hour to set up after we got everything from the car to our spot, and I think that took about 15 minutes. I didn't film that because it's just a lot of leaving the camera unattended for minutes at a time, so I didn't want to do that. But I think I have some customers, so I'm gonna go take care of that, and I will update you later. Bye. Okay, so I didn't film anything during the event because it was actually quite busy, but it is over now, and we did pretty good. Definitely, it hit our minimum hourly rate to be considered a really good show, which is fantastic. That is not what I was expecting out of this event. I honestly had no idea what to expect because we had never done this event before, and we'd never really heard of it really before either, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it turned out to be a really good event. There was almost constantly, a stream of people coming in and out, and you can see on the road behind us actually, there was almost constantly a stream of cars turning into the parking lot, so that was really cool, and it was a really good event.
and I actually sold out of Ocean Smalls. So that was really cool. I came really close on selling out of Peach Smalls as well. I think I only had one left, so it was good that that didn't sell. I mean, selling out's always fun, but it's better, in my opinion, to have inventory left over because you made as much as you could from that event. I didn't sell any artwork, but that's not anything out of the ordinary. Artwork is waiting to find its person. I don't really expect to sell artwork. It's a nice surprise when I do. So yeah, I will just start packing up, and then I'll give you a more detailed explanation of the show in the end card. So yeah, on to packing up.
Okay, and now it is time for us to pack up. Just like setting up, we kind of have this down to a science, so we both know what we do. We start off with the smalls and just getting them all cleared off. What I did, I think before I started filming this, looking at the video, I did already do this, is the first thing I technically do is I put all the lids on the candles, just to make it easier to kind of just throw them in the boxes. And then we take the smalls and the wax melts down first, and we kind of spend some time chatting with whatever crafter friends we make along the way. You can kind of see one of them here in the video. I think we might have been chatting about books in this video. We had been talking about fantasy books that we were reading, so that was kind of a fun thing to chat about while we were working and cleaning up our thing. So we clean up the smalls and the wax melts first. They go in that green bag there. The green bag is actually placed on a cart already to kind of make it easier for us to get it to the car, because that green bag is so heavy and one of the straps broke recently, and we don't really have anything else to carry all this stuff in to make it, easy to do in one trip. So we just kind of end up doing that, and it makes it much easier on ourselves to not have to do multiple trips, but it is pretty heavy. So then what I do next is I am taking the mediums and the smalls, and not smalls, the larges, and putting them in our other cart to kind of make the transport a little easier. And I think I was also packing up reed diffusers there as well, and then kind of debating what I wanted to do, as you can see. Sometimes I'm not sure exactly how I want to pack up, because we do kind of do it a little differently every time, depending on if we have to be fully closed down before we can get the car, or if I can load directly into the car. I personally prefer being able to load directly into the car, because I kind of have a system for how I like to load into the car, and having to have everything taken down, in my opinion, kind of screws my system up a little bit. But it doesn't really matter. But in this particular instance, we were able to load directly into the car. So there is going to be a couple times where we walk out of frame and then walk back into frame, and I just cut out the parts where we were away at the car for long periods of time. So what I try to do is I try to get one table cleared off, and sometimes I will use it to stack stuff on if we are unable to load directly into the car, or I will just load into the carrying things like we have now, and take down the tables as we need. So my mom's taking off that first load to the car right now, while I'm kind of doing some, menial tasks that need to happen, but are kind of the annoying things like cleaning up the chair, taking out the trash, doing all the little itty-bitty things that are kind of annoying but need to happen. So then I took the next load, my mom started taking stuff, and then she realized that those aren't filled boxes, so I went back and did that as soon as I got back, and she took the next load in, and we ended up talking. You can see that's where she was like, so I did that really quick and just finished up with the boxes and put everything back in the boxes just to, get a move on and continue on with the craft show. So after this, I'm pretty sure I just put everything in, fold down the table, clean up what is left in the back, and then pop down the tent. So I'm actually going to take this bit of time to give you an update on what was happening now with getting ready for prepping for college. So right now, my roommate actually just got back to me, so I'm so excited to meet with her. I'm actually doing that right after I film this voiceover in like 15 minutes, so that's honestly super exciting for me. And I am a little sorry though that this video did not get out last night like it was supposed to. Time kind of got away from me. in my day. I was planning on filming after I got home from a different craft show last night and finishing up, but I didn't end up being able to film the voiceovers since my uncle came over, and then I was just really distracted for the rest of the night. And honestly, by the time I remembered, it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I was just so tired. I was like, there is no way I'm going to be able to film these voiceovers and get it out in the allotted time. So you can see, going back to the video, you can see we're just finishing up with the last couple loads here. Here's my mom talking to me and kind of finishing up the plan of what we're doing next. So here we're just grabbing the last little pieces of what needs to be packed up. And then my mom took her load and I'm putting my load in this cart. And then I started to take down the tent and really finish up. So yeah, this is honestly how we take down the craft show. I think it took us about 30 minutes doing it start to finish. This is obviously very sped up, but I will send you back over to Pastor to talk about how the show went.
So, that was basically how my craft show went. It was honestly a really good craft show, especially because this happened in the middle of July. And in my personal experience, the months of July and August just are not that great for selling candles because it is the middle of summer and most people are not looking to buy a candle or any sort of like way to make their house hotter than it probably already is, at least not in my area, since I do live, you know, pretty middle of the country, I'd say, closer to the Northeast, but, you know, whatever. So this is how I keep track of what sells. I just make little marks on what sold. And then I also have a big list of all my artwork. At this specific event, no artwork sold, and that's not unusual. Artwork is basically looking for its forever home. It's basically, I like to think of it as you're adopting a piece of art. And not everybody is going to like the same thing, and that artwork is really just waiting for its person to come by and be at a point of time in their life that they can, you know, buy this artwork, that they have space for it, and that they have money for it. Even though my artwork is not expensive at all, it is, in my opinion at least, very reasonably priced for the time and love I put into it. So at this event, my best-selling scent was, I think, sage. Yes, it was sage. This is honestly kind of surprising to me. I wasn't expecting sage to do as well as it did. It does tend to tick downwards in popularity in the summer and fall and tick back upwards in the winter and spring. But it did really well. Sweet peaches, moonflowers, vanilla cupcake, summer vibe, saffron cedarwood, lemongrass lime. Those are all also scents that did pretty well at this event. The only scent that I had that didn't sell anything was raspberry sorbet, which again, kind of surprising to me because raspberry sorbet has been doing pretty good because it does tend to do better during the spring and summer since it is a more fruity scent. I mean, even some scents that never sell, like rose petals, sold. Granted, rose petals was on 20% off during this event. Like, it is on my website. If you want to buy rose petals, I'm discontinuing it. It's 20% off at my website, catsandcoshop.com. You should go check it out before it is gone and never coming back because the scent was discontinued at Candle Science. So I literally can't bring it back even if I wanted to. So yeah. Anyway, moving on from my little tangent about rose petals, I also sold some reed diffusers at this event. I sold 2 saffron cedarwood and 1 black cherry merlot. At this event, I was actually missing a couple scents of my reed diffusers because I didn't realize how low I was on them because I haven't been keeping the best track of them inventory-wise. And in my mad sprint to make all the candles I need for when I leave for college, I kind of have been neglecting making reed diffusers. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I just got back from another craft show and I didn't make any more in the interim. I did find 2 lemongrass limes in between, but I'm still neglecting them. I do plan on making more before my next show though, which is going to be the last show before I leave for college, which is, oh, very, very scary. But yeah. Overall, this event that was shown in this video was a very, very good event. It was very well attended, and it was attended by people who were shopping
I've encountered a lot of different craft shows where people are there, but they're not really there to buy things, they're there to look. So I definitely think it is very important when talking about the success of an event to differentiate human beings walking in the door versus people who are there to shop and to buy things. This was a very shop and to buy things and generally have a nice day out with your family event. So I personally did really well, especially considering it is July, and I, have for the last 2 years averaged like $150 a show when it's July and August because it's candles and no one buys candles in July and August, which unfortunately I have learned the hard way. But this event did really good, and I think I made over $300 at this event, which is pretty good. It did hit my hourly rate of over $500 an hour, which was absolutely amazing because that is my threshold to be, is this a good show or not, is $50 an hour, and it did surpass that. So that made me really, really happy because I was not sure how this event was gonna do. But yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to hit that like and subscribe and turn on notifications. Maybe leave a comment if you're really feeling up to it. It would really mean so much to me and to my business because it would really help this channel start to grow and reach more people. But yeah, thank you again so much for watching. See y'all next week. Bye!